Hi everybody, it's Chef Cleva, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about a dessert that is very dear to me from my childhood, and it is sweet and tangy and very, very delicious. Today, we are going to make lemon meringue pie. Let's get started.
Alright everybody, it's time to get your pen and paper and your photographic memory together because these are the ingredients for your lemon meringue pie filling and the lemon meringue pie topping. For your lemon meringue pie filling, you're going to need 8 ounces of granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 12 ounces of water, 2 lemons juiced and zested, 2 tablespoons of butter, 4 egg yolks, 1 9-inch pie crust. For the meringue topping, you're going to take the egg whites of 4 eggs and 4 ounces of granulated sugar. Growing up, that's not true. Growing up, I had, typical Libra balance where I was both a rough and tumble tomboy girl, but also had my girly girl moments. Although I did enjoy hanging out with my gal pal cousins, there were times when if you wanted to know where I was, you would totally find me with the boys, whether it be gaming, watching scary movies, or even at some point wrestling. If we're at a family gathering on my dad's side, chances are growing up, if you wanted to know where I was, you would only have to look for my cousin, Sean. Sean and I were kind of like 2 peas in the pod when we were little. We would play video games together. We would watch movies, music videos, that sort of thing. We pretty much knew that if the other was at the family gathering, that we were going to have a fun time. On my mom's side, growing up, my older cousin Harold, who was the first grandchild, he lived in California. So he would come to New York almost every summer to spend time with us. So now this is where things get funny. So while you can totally see the differences between how I would play with my cousin Sean as opposed to my cousin Harold, but it's funny because there's actual video footage of me and Harold thrashing each other about the backyard, and from the outside looking in, you would think we were trying to kill each other, but in reality we were having a lot of fun and we loved each other very much. We just had a funny and odd way of expressing it. I say all this to lay the groundwork for this story that I'm about to tell. So you can't see it now because I'm a full-on adult, but when I was younger, and this is kind of like a indirect result of roughhousing with my cousin Harold, there is actually a crease on my forehead right above my eyebrows, but you only see it if you get real close and also when my eyebrows are raised. Let me explain. My mom is a recently retired nurse, and she was a nurse for 46 years. And I can guarantee that growing up, having a nurse for a mother, being a rough and tumble gal, I'm almost certain that she was able to practice her nursing skills both at work and at home. Since I didn't really have video games like that growing up, most of my video game play was done at my grandmother's house with my cousins. When my cousin Harold would come to New York, we pretty much had to figure out ways to entertain ourselves. And so one of the things we used to do was we used to try to one-up one another. It was very much anything you can do, I can do better type vibe. Harold and I decided to entertain ourselves by jumping on my parents' bed. So we're jumping on my parents' bed, but that wasn't enough. So we decided to make the game more interesting by seeing whose breath could smell the worst. we had a bag of onion and garlic potato chips. And what we would do is we would eat a handful of potato chips, jump on the bed to see whose breath would stink the most. Then we would jump from the corners of the bed to the center of the bed and then blow our hot breath into each other's faces. I'm not saying it was the best game in the world, but it was a way for us to keep ourselves entertained. So my mom can hear us jumping up and down on her bed, and she goes to the staircase and she yells upstairs to us, "I am not going to the hospital tonight. So the two of you sit your tails down and stop with the nonsense." Naturally, we did not take her warning seriously, and we continued to jump on my parents' bed. But then she yelled upstairs and pretty much said, "I'm not going to tell you guys again. I'm not going to the hospital tonight. Sit down." We could hear the change in my mom's tone and knew she meant business. So we decided to just do one final jump and then get off the bed. So Cousin Harold decided he was not only going to jump off the bed, he was going to do a backflip off of the bed, but not before saying to me, "I bet you can't do this." So he jumps off the bed and it's the perfect backflip, and then he sticks the landing and all that stuff. So me being the competitive person I am, I decided, oh, I can do that, and I'm pretty sure I can do it better than you. Here is where I messed up, where my cousin was at the foot of the bed, like the foot corner, and did his backflip off of the bed. I was at the head of the bed. So when I started jumping higher and higher to try and give myself that nice amount of bounce before jumping off the bed. And when I did my backflip, I went head first into the corner of my parents' nightstand. And do you know that Harold practically left me to die with my head busted wide open? Eventually, he did go get my mother, who came up the stairs with the first aid kit and something called steri strips, where she literally squeezed my forehead pieces together, put the steri strips across the crease, across the opening of my head, and then put a giant bandage across the steri strips. And then she looked me dead in my face and said, "I am not going to the hospital tonight. So sit down." Needless to say, me busting my head open and my mom speaking to me through my teeth, I in fact did sit my tail down for the rest of the evening. And I hope this story entertained you as much as it did for me to tell it.
Alright everybody, that is a wrap on our lemon meringue pie episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know how yours turned out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, ring that little bell so that way you are notified when our next episode is up and running. I'm Chef Cleva, and remember, everyone's a little curious. Bye guys!